Here's your wrestling news for October 21st, 2025. Your headlines for today include WWE stripped Seth Rollins of championship, Jey Uso versus CM Punk official for Saturday night's main event. Backstage fallout, Adam Pearce punishes Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker after Raw incident. Nikki Bella makes stunning WWE return during Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez match. Fans confused after Raw segment cut to black, real reason revealed. WWE Champion hurt and botched spot during Monday Night Raw. Real reason why Becky Lynch retained against Maxxine Dupri, Survivor Series plans revealed. WWE officials concerned after scary moment in AJ Styles' Dragon Lee title win. Dominic Mysterio defeats Rusev in controversial Raw finish, real reason revealed, and more. The October 20th episode of WWE RAW opened with General Manager Adam Pearce standing center ring, ready to address the future of the World Heavyweight Championship. But before he could speak, the cameras cut backstage to reveal Braun Breaker carrying the title over his shoulder and flanked by Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. The trio marched to the ring with purpose. Pearce, maintaining his composure, confirmed the inevitable. Seth Rollins had undergone major surgery and would be out of action for the foreseeable future. With that, he made it official, the World Heavyweight title was now vacant. Pearce announced that a new champion would be crowned at Saturday night's main event on November 1st in Salt Lake City, with CM Punk already confirmed for the match. His opponent would be determined later in the night through a special over-the-top rope battle royal. When Pearce demanded Breaker return the title, the powerhouse smirked and asked, "What if I don't?" The tension in the arena spiked as Pearce stood his ground. After a tense standoff, Breaker finally handed over the belt, but only after forcing the GM to say, "Please." That's when Paul Heyman took the microphone, revealing his motivation in siding with Breaker and Reed. "I didn't leave Roman Reigns and betray CM Punk at WrestleMania to stand with Seth Rollins. I did it because I know Breaker and Reed are the future of this business." Mocking Rollins' many nicknames, Heyman added that the Visionary had become nothing more than a bum shoulder, declaring this moment as a revision of the future. The segment ended without a full explanation for Breaker and Reed's betrayal, but one thing was clear: a new era was coming, and it was built on dominance, not loyalty. Later, backstage, an enraged Adam Pearce confronted Heyman, announcing that Breaker and Reed were officially removed from the night's Battle Royal. Heyman's smug grin didn't fade, but the message was received loud and clear. Moments later, Becky Lynch confronted Heyman, brushing off his attempts to recruit her into the Vision. She warned that when Seth Rollins returns, he'll go after Heyman's new pets, not Heyman himself, because you don't matter to the architect. Heyman later tried to calm Breaker and Reed by sharing a story about his past clients, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, explaining that their success only came when they learned to listen to him. Whether this new duo will do the same remains to be seen. Meanwhile, elsewhere backstage, Jimmy and Jey Uso discussed the night's Battle Royal. Jimmy tried to convince his brother that Roman doesn't have all the answers. Jey paused, replying, "You might be right, but Roman might be too." The line hinted at deepening cracks and perhaps an impending family war. As the main event began, CM Punk joined commentary alongside Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett, scouting his potential challengers for the upcoming title bout. The match opened with chaos as Otis, who returned after months, tried to avenge a recent attack from Rusev, only to be eliminated early, followed quickly by his Alpha Academy teammate Tozawa. Judgment Day found a small measure of payback by tossing out Dragon Lee, while Dominic Mysterio racked up eliminations of Rusev and Penta to stay hot in the mix. Sheamus delivered a massive white noise on Ivar on the apron to send him packing, before Jimmy Uso eliminated El Grande Americano. But payback came fast. Balor and McDonough dragged Sheamus to the floor just moments after. In one of the night's biggest surprises, AJ Styles eliminated Dominic Mysterio, though Dirty Dom cleverly re-entered the match unnoticed after slipping under the ropes earlier. As the final moments approached, the Usos found themselves working together, with Jimmy repeatedly saving Jey from elimination. But when the timing was right, Jey Uso struck, tossing Jimmy and LA Knight over the top rope before sending Mysterio flying to win the match and punch his ticket to Saturday night's main event. The Battle Royal delivered in all the right ways: fast-paced action, surprise twists, and multiple storyline threads woven throughout. But the night's biggest statement came from Jey Uso, who solidified himself as a legitimate singles contender while channeling shades of his cousin Roman Reigns. His decision to betray Jimmy the second he no longer needed him felt like a turning point, a callback to everything Roman once taught him. As Jimmy stared up from the floor watching his brother celebrate, the story practically wrote itself. And as Jey Uso stood face to face with CM Punk to close the show, the stage was officially set for November 1st in Salt Lake City, where one man will walk out as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Do you think Jey Uso made the right call going solo? And is CM Punk destined to claim gold again, or could Jey shock the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. The Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer continued her impressive run on Raw this week in a non-title showdown against Roxanne Perez, but the night didn't quite unfold as planned, both in and out of the ring. The match started off fast-paced with Raquel Rodriguez attempting to interfere early on before being neutralized heading into a commercial break. Once action resumed, Vaquer mounted a strong comeback, dazzling fans with her signature Devil's Kiss before hitting a breathtaking dive from the top rope onto Judgment Day members at ringside. Back in the ring, Vaquer took control, pinned Perez clean, and walked away with another statement victory. However, things quickly turned chaotic after the bell. Judgment Day swarmed the ring and began attacking Vaquer until Nikki Bella made a return to even the odds. Together, Vaquer and Nikki cleared the ring and stood tall to close the segment. The crowd erupted at the sight of Nikki raising Vaquer's hand in a moment that felt like a passing of the torch. But what fans saw on television told a different story. As Nikki briefly fell and popped back up, the broadcast abruptly cut to black, leading to widespread online speculation that a wardrobe function had occurred. According to Ringside News, alternate footage from the arena told the real story. The uncensored clip showed Nikki continuing the segment smoothly. No malfunction, no slip, nothing out of the ordinary. WWE reportedly blacked out the feed as a precautionary measure, likely thinking a mishap had occurred. Despite the broadcast confusion, the match itself delivered strong in-ring work, though the commercial break trimmed valuable minutes from the bout. Nikki's return adds intrigue to the women's division, and given the on-screen chemistry between her and Vaquer, a potential tag match against the Judgment Day seems inevitable. However, the segment didn't end without concern. During the post-match brawl, as Nikki fended off Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, Vaquer attempted a springboard dive but slipped on the top rope, connecting awkwardly with Raquel. The impact left Vaquer visibly shaken and limping as the segment continued. Despite the scare, both Nikki and Vaquer managed to finish the confrontation, clearing the ring of Judgment Day before heading backstage. According to PW Torch, Vaquer was indeed hurt during the dive, but initial medical checks confirmed the injury is minor and won't keep her out of action for long. Sources indicate that she's expected to recover quickly and be ready for her next scheduled appearance. Given the circumstances, a broadcast mishap, Nikki Bella's surprise comeback, and a legitimate injury scare, the segment certainly delivered more drama than WWE intended. Do you think WWE overreacted by blacking out the broadcast, or was it the right call to play it safe? And should Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer form a tag team against the Judgment Day moving forward? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The night kicked off with a high-energy tag team title bout as Finn Balor and JD McDonough defended their gold against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee on Raw. From the opening bell, Judgment Day controlled the pace, isolating Lee and keeping him far from his corner. Styles eventually made the tag and cleaned house. Momentum swung back and forth as both teams fought to regain control, turning the bout into a fast-paced, evenly matched showdown. The closing stretch saw a flurry of close calls. Styles nearly secured the win for his team before Balor responded with a near fall of his own to keep Judgment Day's hopes alive. Then came a tense moment that had everyone in the arena holding their breath. During an exchange between Styles and McDonough, JD hit a standing Spanish fly, but the move happened so quickly that Styles didn't get a full rotation, and it appeared as if Styles landed awkwardly on his neck. According to PW Torch, WWE officials were legitimately concerned after watching the spot live, fearing a serious neck injury. Fortunately, it's since been confirmed that Styles is fine and didn't sustain any damage. As the action broke down, Dragon Lee took out McDonough at ringside, clearing the way for Styles to hit the Styles Clash on Balor for the win and the championship. The match was a thrilling, fast-paced opener that delivered on every level. The chemistry between Styles and Lee was undeniable, and the chaotic finishing stretch kept the crowd on edge until the final bell. Their victory marks the beginning of a new chapter for the tag team division, while Judgment Day's latest setback could spell internal trouble for the group moving forward. Backstage, Finn Balor and JD McDonough confronted Dominic Mysterio, blaming him for putting them into the title match to begin with. The argument grew heated until Roxanne Perez stepped up, trying to calm Dominic down and maintain some stability within the group. However, the cracks are clearly beginning to show. The growing friction is expected to carry over into next week's show, where the Judgment Day storyline will reportedly tie into Liv Morgan's long-awaited return, a development that could shake up the group's dynamic even further. Do you think Judgment Day can recover from this loss, or are we watching the beginning of their downfall? Share your predictions in the comments below. 3 weeks after being robbed of victory through classic underhanded tactics, Rusev got another shot at Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental Championship, a title that has long eluded the Bulgarian brute throughout his WWE career. From the opening bell, Rusev unleashed his trademark power, tossing Mysterio around the ring and controlling the pace with brute force. In the final stretches, Dirty Dom rolled to the outside and tried to grab both his Intercontinental and AAA Mega Championship belts. Penta intervened, blocking the escape. In a desperate move, Mysterio reached into his bag of tricks once again, slipping a bell hammer into his boot before attempting the 619. Rusev caught the setup, but couldn't avoid the low blow that followed. That underhanded shot opened the door for the 619 to connect cleanly, followed by a frog splash, sealing another controversial win for Mysterio. Despite the constant cheating, the most surprising part of the match wasn't the finish, it was the fans. Even as a heel, Dominic Mysterio was cheered heavily throughout the match, with chants of Dirty Dom echoing across the arena. The WWE Universe seems to have turned the tide on the young star, cheering him despite his villainous antics. Now, Rusev's loss is tied to WWE's long term. Had Rusev walked away with the title, it would have derailed the rumored John Cena vs. Dominic Mysterio clash at Survivor Series, where according to PW Insider, Cena is expected to win the gold in what could be one of his final major victories. That brings up a key question for fans heading into the coming weeks. Is now the right time for WWE to turn Dominic Mysterio babyface? And if the reports are true, should John Cena really be the one to take the Intercontinental title from him at Survivor Series? Now, before his match with Rusev, Dominic cut a promo that caught many fans off guard because it didn't sound like the usual Dirty Dom. Instead of trashing the city or taunting the crowd, Mysterio leaned into the chants, smiling as fans shouted, "Dirty, Dirty Dom." He even climbed the turnbuckle, raised his title high, and soaked in the cheers instead of fighting against them. It was a subtle but telling shift in tone, one that may suggest WWE is testing the waters for a potential babyface turn. Whether intentional or not, it's working. The crowd connection is growing stronger each week, and Mysterio's charisma, once purely hated, now seems to be earning genuine admiration. If WWE leans into it, this could be one of the most natural and satisfying character evolutions in years, a redemption arc for a young star who's finally stepped out of his father's shadow and into his own spotlight. Do you think WWE should fully turn Dominic Mysterio babyface soon, or should they wait until after Survivor Series to pull the trigger? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Still stung by her loss 2 weeks ago and desperate to regain her footing, Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch entered Monday Night Raw with something to prove. Facing Maxxine Dupri, the Irish star unleashed her frustration early, dominating the challenger through the opening minutes and continuing the assault through the commercial break. But in front of her hometown crowd in Sacramento, Dupri refused to fold. Channeling the energy of the audience, she mounted a fiery comeback, stunning Lynch with a sharp kick to the side of the head before locking in an ankle lock, a move she learned from her mentor, Chad Gable. The crowd erupted as Becky scrambled for an escape, countering into her signature disarm her, only for Dupri to fight through the pain and reapply her submission in a gutsy display of resilience. But just as it seemed the underdog might pull off the upset, Becky struck with a championship belt to the face, earning an immediate disqualification. Lynch continued her attack after the bell, laying out Dupri before storming out of the arena to a chorus of boos from the Sacramento crowd. Despite the loss, Dupri's performance marked a major step forward. Her growing confidence, in-ring poise, and ability to go toe-to-toe with one of WWE's biggest stars makes her a breakout name to watch, especially if the company continues to build on her underdog momentum. Meanwhile, Lynch's cheap tactics likely set the stage for one final showdown, with sources hinting it could happen at Saturday night's main event. Adding more intrigue to the storyline, AJ Lee was notably absent from this week's Raw once again. Reports suggest she's currently on a limited schedule with conflicting updates about her next appearance. Some insiders claim AJ won't return until Survivor Series, where she's rumored to challenge Becky Lynch and possibly walk out as the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. That raises an interesting question heading into the next chapter of this feud. Would AJ Lee dethroning Becky Lynch at Survivor Series be the right booking call, or should Maxxine Dupri get a redemption, with AJ costing Becky the title in the process whenever WWE books it? Share your predictions and booking ideas in the comments below. The Kabuki Warriors cut a promo mocking Rhea Ripley's broken nose from the recent Japan tour, declaring that they're back and ready for gold. With that challenge issued, a match against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss now seems likely. Given the momentum and built-in storyline, the Kabuki Warriors appear poised to capture the women's tag team titles, as Charlotte and Alexa have accomplished nearly everything. Meanwhile, Bayley teased a surprise for Lyra Valkyria next week following their tag victory, sparking rumors of a title match against the Kabuki Warriors. That's a wrap on this week's Monday Night Raw. What did you think of this week's show? Was Jey Uso the right choice to face CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, or should WWE have gone in a different direction? And which moment stood out as your favorite segment of the night? Share your ratings and reactions in the comments below. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.